Hey everyone, I'm going to go over a little bit about this character before jumping into a breach. This is my Twister Abyssal Lich. So we use Whirling Slash to move around the map quickly. We pop Barrage when we have some frenzy charges, and then we Twister, and it does some really good clear. We use Stormlance for our elemental ground whenever we need it. We don't generally need it for clearing, just for bosses. Then we use Frostwall when we want to build up some charges using Hate Forge and Rage on Hit tech. Usually just need it for bossing. The rest of the frenzy charges that we get comes from Amour Break and Resonance. We get this tech from another build I saw a while back for a Ritualist Twister. I believe it was Twistword was the name of the person I was following for the guide. But I'll add them to the description. This is what my tree looks like. We are playing the Lich variant of this build because we're taking advantage of Umbral Souls to get one of a few different buffs. So we will switch between area of effect, energy shield recharge rate, or projectile speed, and we use the skeletal reavers on the back bar for faster moving around the map. Let's quickly do a breach to show off how it works and what its potential is. I'm gonna build up some charges before jumping into it. Turn the volume up a little bit. Drop my armor breach gem here. I'm gonna throw in Garuku's Resolve. Just quickly loot. We're in no rush because we can just build up our charges again. Get to this point here, turn in the ice wall, and just smack it.
Nightmare.
as you can see, we nearly got a one-shot there. If we got a lucky proc, or if I had been using my other gem for more frenzy charges, we probably would have one-shot.
It's about time. I think not.
All right. That's what the build looks like. Now we can go over some of the details of it. Garukin's Resolve is really nice for ensuring you get those critical hits on bossing, but it does come with the downside of the skill is disabled until you move that distance. So you can see here, disabled, and you'll move a little bit faster in maps just because you'll have the frenzy charges and a few other buffs going for you. But it definitely can be an issue on certain map layouts. So not always, it's not a requirement, but it's helpful. Let's throw this stuff. Well, let's determine what is garbage and what is not garbage later. Just throw it in a random stash so I'll never find it again. Okay. So, let's go over the skill set once more. This is Twister, using projectile acceleration. Using projectile acceleration and the skeleton buff from Umbral will give you 15% more damage, or 15% increased damage for each skeleton archer you have. So I currently have 4 of them, so that's giving me 60% increased damage and 60% increased projectile speed. Salvo, it helps the number of tornadoes that you have. They'll build up again. Usually you can build up to 2 or 3 again before your barrage comes off cooldown. Execute 3. We're using Execute 3 because I am playing a low life version of this build. You can go full CI with this build with a few different changes. So this is just 30% more damage and then 30% more when they're on low life. We're using Rakiata's Flow. It's not explicitly necessary. I am using a Sacred Flame as well. You can replace this with Retreat 3, I believe it's called. Yes, so Retreat 3, just deal more projectile damage if you dealt a melee attack recently, and you generally have when you are rolling slashing around. And then Amour Break we use to generate charges. We do a decent amount of physical damage as well. You can also take a passive on the tree that allows fire damage to apply, or for fire damage to benefit from Amour Break as well. So being that we're mostly physical and fire damage, it's not a bad anoint. We just don't take it at this moment. We use Whirling Slash to jump around the map, getting the storm going and release those twisters. We got Rage 3 for more attack speed and rage on hit. Rapid Attacks 3. Rerolled Ferocity we use exclusively on the front bar, this skill. And on this bar, we have Weapon Set 2 checked. Then we use Knockback and Punch Through. These are just... neither of them are super necessary. This is a little bit more damage, but you can put some other options in here. You could take Pulling Strike if you wanted. Barrage, we have Cooldown Recovery, Perpetual Charge, Heightened Charges, and Rapid Casting. You could make this 6 socket and put on Prolonged Duration as well. Stormlance, we are just using to generate that shock round. We have Rapid Attacks, Increased Area, Projectile Acceleration. I'm not sure why that's there. And Compressed Duration. honestly, I would probably take Encroaching Ground. Because it, well, one of these days. Encroaching Ground, just because it'll give you a little bit more area on that ground effect. And Compressed Duration to make it detonate a little bit quicker. Crosswall, we're just using for Frenzy charge generation before bosses. Also, Endurance and Power charges. Wind Dancer, new addition to the build. Didn't really feel like I needed it, but it's just a little bit extra cushion to keep enemies off you, and it's going to be blowing enemies up with how I have it set up right now. We have Blindside, because both our skills, Twister and Whirling Slash, apply a blind. It's just going to get more critical damage bonus and more crit chance for free. Close combat, everything's going to be close to us. Heavy Swing, Culmination, just because you're building up combo with Whirling Slash pretty quickly. And Execute 3, just more damage. Then we have Skeletal Reaver for the back bar. Currently we can run 7 of them. And we're using a Scepter to give us a little bit more spirit, so we can have more of them. And apply the Critical Weakness debuff. When we go to our front bar, we run a Skeletal Snipers at this time. You can also do the Skeletal Arsonists. You can do Skeletal Arsonist if you want to go Area of Effect. And you can also go with Skeletal Clerics if you want to grab a lot of energy shield recharge. We have Ghost Dance because Ghost Dance is just really good, and we are evasion energy shield based. And Charge Regulation because we pretty consistently have all types of charges. With Skeletal Reaver and Skeletal Sniper, you do want to be mindful of the breakpoints. So currently, Skeletal Sniper costs us 24 Spirit to reserve, and the Reavers cost us 26. You want to make sure that you only have them checked for which bar you want them to be working on. Going over our skill tree a little bit, let's touch on the Ascendancy first. First, we'll take Umbral Well, of course. Then we are grabbing this Jewel Socket. We're throwing this in here because we really want Rage on Hit. This is not a very good jewel. You can easily get better. We have attack damage, skill duration, and Rage on Hit. It gets doubled from this passive, so we are getting more attack damage. Or we're getting 26 attack damage, 20 skill duration, and 2 Rage on Hit. Skill duration is great because it's going to let your twisters linger a little bit longer. The target interval, re-hit interval on the tornadoes is 0.66. So it's good to try to hit a breakpoint with that if you can. I'm not really paying attention to it too much, but if you wanted to min-max this a little bit further, you could try to get that duration right on the money with the re-hit intervals to make sure that it hits as many times as possible each time you trigger it. The other points that we've gone with, if you wanted to go Chaos Inoculation, I recommend grabbing Rupture the Flesh and then grabbing these energy shield nodes. Rupture the Flesh, if you want a little bit of area clear, you can run something like Temporal Chains or Enfeeble and grab this passive here for just a little bit more area of effect for your curse. And I'd run that on Blasphemy. With low life, we need to make sure we take both of these passives at the same time, so our life total cannot change. And we have a little bit of just 10% damage bypasses energy shield, which is just a 10% damage reduction overall. and we get 100 mana regeneration very easily here. So we don't have any mana problems on this build whatsoever. Moving on to the skill tree. This is the path that we follow. We are using the weapon swap passives. So anytime you're seeing green, you're thinking damage. Anytime you're seeing red, you're thinking attack speed. So we come down here past the monk side. We grab some crit notes here, and we're grabbing a little bit of energy shield recharge just for some defense. Resonance is very important for us to pick up, so our armor break converts those endurance charges into frenzy charges. We're grabbing this on the whirling slash bar. We're grabbing these on the whirling slash bar and this on the twister bar. This is 60% increased damage because we're always on low life. Since we're always blinding enemies, we're taking this passive here for 50% increased crit chance. Then we're getting projectile speed and projectile damage here, and a little bit more crit chance here. We're doing that through the use of the controlled metamorphosis, which is really great here for saving us some points. Alternatively, you can use I believe it's a large version of this jewel to get Moment of Truth, Deadly Force. You might still be able to reach this, and you'll be able to hit this as well. But I really wanted to distract a target because crit chance is really great at making your damage a little bit more consistent when you can get above 50%. We're going to come down this way. Oh, first off, I'm going to let you know that we anoint Spectral Ward because we are using a Evasion Energy Shield armor base. If you're going pure Energy Shield base, don't need to worry about this. We then come down here, take a little bit more attack speed on the Whirling Slash bar, pick up a Frenzy Charge and Subterfuge Mask. Then things get a little bit crazier right here. So we are using a unique jewel called From Nothing. Passives in the radius of Walker of the Wilds can be allocated without being connected to your tree. And so let's remove this to make it a little easier to see what's happening here. So because we can select passives in the area that we want, what we've done is on our damage bar, we've picked up the following nodes here. And then on both bars, we're picking up the Howling Primate and the Fabled Stag. This is nice for the endurance charges. This could take it or leave it. I think this is a remnant of when I was using Blasphemy. The intelligence is nice, I guess. But the real benefit of it is really gonna come into play when I show off the jewel that we're putting here. And then evasion, obviously, super nice. Now when we slot this jewel in, you'll see why we're doing this. What makes this such a valuable slot? Each notable passive in the area gives us 5% crit chance, 9% crit damage, and 7% faster start of energy shield recharge. So starting with energy shield recharge, we're at 1.8 seconds. I remove this. Sorry, let me go to my front bar. With it, I'm at 1.57 seconds. Then when I remove it, we're at 2 seconds. So it gives us 0.5 second less. And looking at our damage here, you can see how significant of a difference that is making. It's about 100 crit bonus and 6% crit chance, which is gonna, it looks kind of low right now, but when we look at the path of building, you'll see why it's important. We take these passives here for more crit chance. We're taking the Frenzy Charge cluster here because more Frenzy Charges means more damage from Barrage, more projectiles. Then we're coming down here, we're grabbing some more Evasion, some Accuracy, some more Evasion and Deflection. We're gonna grow up here, and this is where we've slotted our Megalomaniac, which we have taken 5 Rage on hit to proc those charge generations a little bit easier, and Anticipation, because Unleash is the seal frequency that it is talking about also applies to Salvo. This may be a bug, but I don't think it is because it also says seal. So we get a little bit quicker uptime on those seals. This is more damage for our front bar. We have some attack speed on the back bar. We'll grab the spear nodes. These passives are going to be on both bars. And then this is just the attack speed bar, and this is just the damage bar. Down here, that's where we've slotted the From Nothing Jewel. We grab attack speed here. We'll go over here and we'll grab some cooldown recovery rate and skill effect duration. Skill effect duration for the Twisters, and the cooldown recovery rate for Barrage. Go here, and we're gonna grab some Evasion. We're grabbing Escape Strategy because I love to run straight into the middle of a pack and then try to throw out the Twisters. You can do it a little bit safer where you're standing back and throwing the Twisters out, but I like to run it right into the middle of them, throw off the Twisters. With this procced, we're getting more energy shield back from Ghost Dance. Currently, it's just saying 859, but that'll go up to like 1200 when you are all fully buffed up. We grab Wary Dodging, that just says cannot be light stunned if you haven't been hit recently. This is just going to help you avoid getting stunned out of your Barrage and Twister setup. This is even more important if you want to map with Garukin's Resolve, because if you get stunned out of it, sometimes you're dead in the water because you can't use the skill again until you get out of the area and have moved 20 meters. And then here we have Frenzy Bear, just granting you increased damage if you've consumed a Frenzy Charge, and some skill speed for the same reason. Just a quick glance again at the skill tree. We come in here for some attack speed and a little bit of defense on the Whirling Slash bar. What else? Oh, another tech that's probably going to get patched is the use of support buffs. What are they called? Persistent buffs. The support gems that cause you to reserve additional reservation for some additional buffs. So for instance, here we have Clarity 2. It should cost an additional 20 spirit. When we go to this bar here, you'll see I have 19 spare spirit. Oh, that's interesting. So it doesn't work with Malice. But then we come here to Purity of Fire, and I can throw Dire Strike in without any issue. So Malice, it has issues with Malice. And so we've all learned something today. And now this build has a little bit more attack speed. So for Malice, we're just using Prolonged Duration to keep that critical weakness stacks up a little bit longer. And then for Period of Fire, we are running Dire Strike, Warm-Blooded, Cool-Headed, and Precision. Dire Strike is just 70% increased damage. Hard to beat that. If we had to drop a couple skeletons, we would probably drop a couple skeletons just so we could keep Dire Strike, because that's a lot of damage. If you are feeling spicy, you can use a Crown of Thorns. Crown of Thorns is just going to give you pain attunement. And if we look here, I don't know if it reflects on the tree, but we'll take a look here. It's 396. When we throw it on, that puts us at 515 crit multi. Pretty significant increase in your damage, but it does come at the loss of some defense. So if you have capped resists without your helmet, and you're just looking for some more damage, you're okay with losing some energy shield and evasion, throw on a Crown of Thorns. So for our attack speed bar, our whirling slash bar, we're using this spear. If you can't get yourself a increased reservation, spirit of reservation of efficiency spear, you can just use a, oh, where is it? A silver spear, or sorry, silver spear, sky sliver wing spear with a decent attack speed roll on it. So these are equivalent attack speed right now. You can get faster if you get a better attack speed roll on your spear and get three passives, but those are expensive. For the scepter, we're using Malice and +3 levels to minions and as much spirit as we can, so we can just get as many reavers as we can to get as much attack speed as we can. The rest of the stats don't really matter. Our helmet, ideally +3 levels to minions if you can get it. It's not hugely important, but it might help you hit that breakpoint. Then as much energy shield as you can, and resists, because you are probably going to need them. Then you want to get a chest with as much evasion and energy shield as you can. And then you also want to get some spirit and a faster start of energy shield recharge. I was playing a build before. I was playing Ritualist Twister before, and I wasn't grabbing spirit on any of my items. So these items are not perfect for this build. If I had to, I would drop the strength and intelligence and I'd get spirit on this. My amulet is the same. It doesn't have any spirit on it, but it makes up for it with the amount of energy shield we get. If I had to drop any item or any roll from this, I would drop the energy shield from equipped body armor and critical damage bonus, probably. I can lose a little bit of damage, but I really like having those defenses. So this is a lot of defense for us, and the +3 levels to projectile skills helps with our damage. We get a ring with a lot of resist here because we need it, and some evasion. Ring with a little bit of damage to attacks and intelligence and some more resist. And we wanted to get an unset ring because we needed an extra slot. Hate Forge here is important. You want to get -10 to maximum rage and 3 charges on reaching maximum rage if you can. The important thing is that you're going minus maximum rage, and you are getting at least 2 random charges. This is mostly for setting up for bossing, but it isn't the end of the world, because we are generating frenzy charges for mapping through the Amour Break and Resonance. So you can map fine without a good roll. It just might take you a little bit longer to set up on bossing, and you will have a little bit less charges while mapping. And your power charges and endurance charges will be less common as well. We are using a Ingenuity belt because we have some okay rings and there's not a lot of good items you can use here. And I cannot afford a headhunter. Then here we have a soul span, daggerfoot boots, rare boots, just some movement speed, evasion energy shield with some resist on it. We got some recharge rate. We have faster start of recharge on our chest. Energy shield recharge is going to be one of our main defenses here, along with Ghost Shroud, so it's important to get those. Then for our charms, we have Nascent Hope for some recharge when we get frozen. We want immunity to stun, and I like immunity to slow. If I had to, or if I could, I would replace this with the charm that gives you onslaught when you become slowed. So we would have a little bit more move speed in the build. Mana Flask with a lot of mana. Don't really need this. Just, it's here, I guess. And then we have Blood of the Warrior, which is going to help us just get a little bit more rage on hit when we get hit, is the important thing to note here. So currently we have 4 rage when hit by an enemy during the effect for 7.5 second duration, and we do not lose rage during the effect, which is great. Helps us keep those charges up. We're low life, not going to be using a life last to regenerate life, and we can't actually regenerate life at all because of Eternal Youth. If we're regenerating life, we're in a lot more trouble than we'd like. And then we have this, which has Vengeful Fury on it, which is just a passive on this side of the tree that is going to give us more rage when being hit by an enemy. So we're going to get 9 rage when we get hit, which is going to stack up the rage a little bit quicker for us. I've spent a lot of time on this build. There's still a lot that can be done to min-max it. We could change out our boots for some spirit reservation. We could get more spirit on our chest, on our helmet, on our amulet. We could get some more passives going on. Twister is not level 21 yet. Barrage isn't level 21. We don't need levels on Whirling Slash. We keep it at a low level just because it's easier to use. This build doesn't have any mana issues. If you want to run a level 20 Whirling Slash and throw efficiency in instead of punch through or knockback, you can, and you can do some damage with your Whirling Slash. It's still not going to be very impressive, but it will be some damage, and it can help clear out some of the smaller mobs. I don't think there's anything else I needed to go over. Pull up my notes. It's going to be important to get high crit chance on your spear. This one was a fairly cheap spear to get. You can craft them. I've tried crafting them, and I've had some really bad luck crafting. We're using Sacred Flame for a little bit extra fire damage, and Purity of Fire isn't really relevant. This line here might actually make Rakiata's flow worse. Hold on. It might make Rakiata's flow worse. So it's gonna be probably the same exact damage for doing your Uber bosses because they have the same resistance regardless. But just keep that in mind. This could also be a better roll than it is now.